Imagine walking into a room filled with people. Some are excited, engaged, leaning in. Others look disinterested, waiting for the moment they can check out. Now, here's the question. What makes the difference? Why do some ideas spark movements while others barely get noticed? The answer isn't found in what we do or even how we do it. The answer is deeper. It's the reason behind it all, the purpose that fuels passion, commitment, and loyalty. There's a blueprint, a simple framework that the world's most inspiring leaders and organizations follow, whether they know it or not. And when you understand it, everything changes. Every organization, every movement, every person on a mission, whether they realize it or not, operates on 3 levels. What they do, how they do it, and why they do it. The most common approach, the one most people take, is to start with what. They tell us what they sell, what service they provide, what product they've designed. Some will go a step further and explain how they do it, what makes them different, what their unique value proposition is, why they are better than the competition. But the most inspiring leaders and organizations flip this formula on its head. They don't start with what, they start with why. Why is not about making money. That's a result. Why is about purpose, cause, belief. It's the reason an organization exists. Beyond profit, beyond competition, beyond market share. It's the reason some businesses attract fiercely loyal customers while others struggle to hold attention. It's why some leaders inspire movements while others are forgotten. Think about the brands, leaders, and movements that have truly shaped history. They all have one thing in common. They don't just communicate what they do, they communicate why they do it. And because of that, people don't just buy from them, they believe in them. Consider a company that sells computers. If they start with what, their message sounds something like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, easy to use, and have the best features. That's fine, but it's not inspiring. It's just another company selling another product. Now, what happens? If they start with why, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. Everything we do is designed to inspire innovation. And, by the way, we happen to make great computers that are beautifully designed, easy to use, and have the best features. That's a very different message. That's a message that attracts people who share the same belief. When we start with why, we're not just selling a product, we're building a community of people who believe what we believe. The same principle applies to leadership. A leader who starts with what will tell their team, we need to hit these targets, we need to increase efficiency, we need to maximize profits. A leader who starts with why will say, we are here to change lives. We are here to build something meaningful. We are here to create something that will outlast us. One is transactional, the other is transformational. The truth is, people don't follow leaders because they have to. They follow them because they want to. And that desire to follow, to be a part of something greater than themselves, comes from one place: belief. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And when you start with why, something incredible happens. Belief is the foundation of loyalty, trust, and inspiration. It is what separates great leaders from average ones, thriving organizations from struggling ones, and movements that change the world from ideas that fade into obscurity. People don't follow leaders because of their titles. They don't buy products because of their features. They don't support causes because of logic alone. They follow, buy, and support because of belief. Belief is what drives people to take action, not because they are told to, but because they feel compelled to. It's the reason people will stand in line for hours to buy a new product from a company they trust. It's why employees will dedicate their lives to a vision that resonates with them. It's why entire communities will rally behind a cause, not just with words, but with real commitment and sacrifice. Belief is powerful because it connects on an emotional level. We as humans are not purely rational beings. We don't make decisions solely based on facts, data, or logic. We make decisions based on how we feel. When we believe in something, we don't just think about it, we feel it. It becomes part of us. Belief is powerful because it connects on an emotional level. We as humans are not purely rational beings. We don't make decisions solely based on facts, data, or logic. We make decisions based on how we feel. When we believe in something, we don't just think about it, we feel it. It becomes part of us. Take any movement that has changed the course of history. It wasn't built on policies or procedures. It wasn't fueled by spreadsheets or financial forecasts. It was built on belief. The civil rights movement wasn't just about laws. It was about the fundamental belief that all people are equal. The fight for independence in nations around the world wasn't just about governance. It was about the deep belief in freedom and self-determination. The same applies to businesses and organizations. The most successful companies in the world don't just sell products. They sell belief. They create a vision that people want to be part of. When people believe in a company's mission, they don't just become customers, they become advocates. They don't just buy a product, they become part of a movement. Employees, too, are driven by belief. People don't do their best work because they are paid well. They do their best work because they believe in what they're doing. A company can offer the best salary and the best perks, but if employees don't believe in the mission, they will never give their full potential. On the other hand, when people truly believe in what they are doing, they will go above and beyond, not because they have to, but because they want to. Belief is the difference between compliance and commitment. Compliance happens when people follow rules because they have to. Commitment happens when people take action because they believe in something greater than themselves. And when people believe, they don't just participate, they invest their hearts, minds, and energy into making something extraordinary. Most organizations and individuals know what they do. They can describe their products, services, or responsibilities in detail. They can tell you what industry they're in, what goals they have, and what strategies they use to achieve them. Some can even articulate how they do it. They might explain their process, their unique selling points, or their competitive advantages. They might emphasize efficiency, innovation, or superior quality. But very few start with why. And without a compelling why, the how and the what lose their power to inspire. Imagine two companies selling the same product. One says, we make high-quality running shoes with the latest technology to enhance performance. The other says, we believe that every runner has the potential to go further. We exist to push the limits of human performance. And we happen to make high-quality running shoes with the latest technology. The first company tells you what they do and how they do it. The second company starts with why. Which one is more inspiring? Which one are people more likely to connect with on an emotional level? This is the difference between those who simply operate and those who inspire. The what is necessary. It gives people a clear understanding of what a company or individual offers. But the what alone is transactional. It appeals to logic, not emotion. It might generate a sale, but it won't build loyalty. The how adds another layer. It provides differentiation. It explains why something is unique or better. But even the how isn't enough to create deep, lasting engagement. The why is where inspiration happens. It's the reason people care. It's the reason people feel something when they interact with a brand, follow a leader, or commit to a cause. Think about the way most job interviews go. A hiring manager asks a candidate, "What do you do?" The candidate responds by listing their skills, experience, and responsibilities. Maybe they explain how they approach their work, what makes them different from others. But rarely do they start with why. Now imagine a different approach. Instead of leading with what they do, the candidate says, I believe in the power of storytelling to change the way people see the world. I believe that the right message at the right time can inspire action. That's why I've spent my career mastering the art of communication, and that's why I want to be part of your team. Which candidate is more memorable? Which candidate sparks curiosity? The how and the what are important, but they are not enough on their own. When leaders, businesses, and individuals start with why, they create a connection that goes beyond products, beyond competition, beyond mere transactions. Inspiration is not just a feeling. It's not a coincidence, nor is it a random event. Inspiration is deeply rooted in human biology. It is wired into us. It is the reason some messages move us to take action while others fall flat. It is the reason some leaders spark movements while others struggle to gain traction. And the secret to inspiring people lies not in logic, not in facts, but in how our brains are designed to process information and make decisions. To understand why some ideas resonate more than others, we have to look at the way our brains function. The human brain is divided into three major parts. The neocortex, the outermost layer, is responsible for rational thought, analytical processes, and language. This is where facts, data, and numbers are processed. When a company talks about its product specifications, when a leader presents a spreadsheet filled with statistics, they're speaking to the neocortex. But the neocortex alone does not drive decision-making. The deeper part of the brain, the limbic system, is where the real magic happens. The limbic brain is responsible for emotions, trust, and loyalty. It controls human behavior. It is where decisions are made not through logic but through feeling. When people say, "It just felt right," or "I can't explain it but I trust them," that's the limbic brain at work. This is why inspiration doesn't come from endless facts and figures. It comes from something much deeper. Think about the last time you made a major life decision. A job you took, a relationship you committed to, a company you chose to support. More often than not, that decision wasn't made purely through a logical step-by-step analysis. It was made based on a feeling. Something felt right. Something resonated with you on a deeper level. That's the limbic brain making a decision before the neocortex has a chance to rationalize it. This is why some leaders can stand in front of a crowd and move people to tears while others struggle to connect. It's why some brands build cult-like followings while others remain forgettable. It's not because of the product. It's not because of the business model. It's because of how they make people feel. Take two companies offering nearly identical products. One spends millions on advertising, listing out all the logical reasons their product is the best. Better materials, faster speeds, longer battery life. The other, instead of focusing on features, speaks to a deeper belief. They tell a story about challenging the status quo, about empowering creativity, about making the impossible possible. The first company appeals to the neocortex. The second speaks directly to the limbic brain. And guess which one people are drawn to? Humans crave meaning. We crave connection. We don't just want to buy products. We want to buy into something bigger than ourselves. This is why true inspiration doesn't come from what we do or how we do it. It comes from the deep emotional resonance that only belief can create. When leaders understand this, when they tap into the biology of inspiration, they don't just attract employees, customers, or followers. They attract believers. Leadership is not about authority. It's not about rank, power, or position. True leadership, the kind that inspires, unites, and transforms, comes from something deeper. It comes from purpose. Purpose is the driving force behind the most impactful leaders in history. It is what separates those who demand compliance from those who inspire commitment. It is what makes people not just follow, but believe. Leaders who lead with purpose don't rely on control. They don't rely on incentives or fear. They create a vision so compelling that people willingly choose to be part of something bigger than themselves. A leader's purpose is not just a statement written in a company handbook. It is not a slogan or a marketing strategy. It is the reason they exist beyond profits, beyond competition, beyond short-term success. It is the core belief that guides every decision, every action, and every message. And when leaders lead with purpose, people feel it. They don't just hear words, they experience a sense of meaning that drives them to give their best. Think about the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss sets targets, enforces deadlines, and expects results. A leader, on the other hand, paints a vision of something worth striving for. A boss might say, "We need to increase sales by 20% this quarter." A leader says, "We have the opportunity to change lives with what we offer. We have a chance to bring real value to people. Let's find a way to make that happen." The first is transactional, the second is transformational. The first appeals to obligation, the second appeals to belief. When leaders lead with purpose, people don't just work for them, they work with them. They don't just complete tasks, they take ownership. They don't just comply, they commit. And this kind of commitment cannot be bought. It must be inspired. Look at the great leaders throughout history. They all had one thing in common, an unwavering sense of purpose. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't give a speech filled with statistics and policies. He spoke of a dream. He painted a vision of a better world. And because of that, people followed him not because they had to, but because they wanted to. The same is true in business. The most successful companies are led by individuals who believe in something greater than profit. They believe in innovation, in challenging the status quo, in empowering people, and because they lead with purpose, their employees, customers, and supporters don't just engage with them, they advocate for them. People are drawn to leaders who stand for something. A leader's purpose is not just a statement. It is a compass. It is what keeps them focused when challenges arise. It is what gives their team clarity when things become uncertain. And most importantly, it is what creates a culture where people feel valued, empowered, and inspired to give their best. A paycheck can buy time, a title can command attention, but only purpose can earn true loyalty. Every action we take, every decision we make, every word we speak has an impact far beyond what we can see. It creates a ripple, a wave of influence that spreads outward, touching lives in ways we may never fully understand. The greatest leaders, the most inspiring organizations, and the most transformative ideas don't just create success for themselves. They create movements. They spark change. They leave a lasting mark on the world not because they sought recognition, but because they understood the power of the ripple effect. The infinite ripple effect begins with a single idea, a single belief, a single purpose. When one person dares to stand for something greater than themselves, they ignite something in others. Their passion, their conviction, their belief spreads, inspiring those around them to take action, not because they are told to, but because they feel something deep inside. And when those people take action, they inspire even more people. Think about a single drop of water falling into a still pond. The moment it touches the surface, it sends out waves in every direction. Those waves travel far beyond where the drop first landed. The same is true for leadership, for purpose, for inspiration. One person, one idea, one belief can send ripples across an entire organization, an entire industry, an entire generation. We see this ripple effect in history. One voice standing for justice can inspire millions to march. One act of courage can empower others to overcome their own fears. One vision held with unwavering belief can redefine an entire industry. The greatest leaders, those who leave a lasting impact, do not set out to be remembered. They set out to create something that will outlive them, and because of that, their influence continues long after they are gone. The infinite ripple effect is not limited to those in positions of power. It is not reserved for CEOs, world leaders, or public figures. Every person, in every role, has the power to create change. A teacher who believes in their students can inspire them to dream bigger, to achieve more, to believe in themselves. A manager who leads with purpose can transform a workplace from a place of obligation to a place of passion and creativity. A single act of kindness can create a chain reaction that spreads farther than we will ever know. The most powerful ripples often begin in the smallest moments. A conversation that sparks a new idea. A leader who takes the time to listen. A company that chooses to stand for something bigger than profit. These moments may seem insignificant at first, but they set off a chain of events that can shape the future. The truth is, we will never fully know the impact of our actions. We may never see the full extent of the ripples we create, but that does not mean they do not exist. Every time we lead with purpose, every time we inspire belief in others, every time we choose to stand for something greater than ourselves, we are setting something in motion, something that will continue to spread, far beyond what we can measure, far beyond what we can see. Inspiration is not accidental, it is intentional. It begins with why, it is fueled by belief, and it spreads through purpose-driven leadership. The most impactful leaders and organizations don't just operate, they ignite movements. They create ripples that extend far beyond their reach, shaping industries, communities, and generations to come. When we lead with purpose, when we commit to something bigger than ourselves, we don't just achieve success, we create a legacy.